Hey, welcome back. Kia ora, everybody. Just a quick update, really. It's not, unfortunately, it's not a tutorial this time around. It's more a update on which tutorials or videos I have filmed in the last sort of 6 months, and most of which are only available inside my subscription only space on my website, because they do take a long time to produce and cost quite a bit of money to produce as well. And so that was the only way we can do it. They're, like the ones they're here on YouTube, they will stay here. They will have the advertising on them and all that, but they will stay here. And every so often I might make another one, like I've done a couple of weeks ago on Ki te Whakairo, but normally the majority will be inside the Weavers Circle, and more details on that later. But I just want to give a quick update on what kind of videos and tutorials I have uploaded there lately. So the one that is not actually uploaded yet but is in the pipeline is the one about this one, because that is ready in time for Matariki. I know this pattern as Ngā Whetū, but most people probably know it as the Matariki pattern because of its stars. So that is that's brand new. It hasn't been uploaded yet, but will be probably in the next sort of 2 weeks, depending on my internet connection. So that one's up there. Also already up there is this potai tutorial, how to make one of those open crown spiral topped potai. So that's already in there. Then we have one on the kupenga overlay. That was by popular demand because I used to make these back in the day, and someone remembered that I used to make these a lot and asked me to make a tutorial on this. So that's been in there. And while we're on the overlay topic, this is also an overlay. It's hard to see, but see, these are actually overlaid on it's Ki te Whakairo as well. So how you can do that sort of thing. So that's like 1, 2, 3, 4 tutorials already. One see behind me, that's one of a whāriki tutorial. I'm in the process of making another one with a different version of the join, the hono. Then we have, this is obviously the same whetū. Then we have whirikete, something that most people already know when they kind of find me, but some didn't. So I decided I'm going to make a video on two corner whirikete. Two corners. Starts with a whiri at the bottom. That's what most people start with weaving in earnest, from kono and those little baskets. Going forward, normally these are when you first start weaving, you weave them in green. You don't actually use a lot of color, so this is just random. There's no pattern to it. And then we move on to a flat base whirikete. So that's that one. So you have a little edge around here, so it basically stands by itself. I have made, I can't show you at the moment because it's in Auckland with a framing company. I've made a video, actually 2, on tukutuku panels, how to make one of those. There's one in there on other weaving fibers. AJ, your pingao and your kia and that kind of thing is a video about that. Most of the YouTube tutorials are also inside the Weavers Circle, but without the advertising, which is, a lot of people don't like advertising on their videos, and I totally get that, which is why I started the Weavers Circle. So those are in there. I'm just trying to think. There's so many. There's over 50 video tutorials in there now. So a cat basket, a tissue box, like those little square tissue boxes. Those kind of things They all have their own video tutorial. They're standalone tutorials, so you don't need to, well, in most cases, you don't need to learn one to progress to the next. I mean, ideally, for example, with the Whirikiti, ideally, you learn this one first before you progress to this one. But you don't necessarily have to. Equally, you can join up for a month or for a year or for 2 months or 3 months. It's totally up to you. It's $15 only a month or $150 a year. So this is not quite covering the cost for the whole site. And we try to keep it as cheap as possible while functional. However, there are some issues if you watch it or want to watch the videos on your mobile phone. It's not quite as easy to navigate. We're working on it, but within our financial limitations. So most of those tutorials are best viewed on an actual sort of a desktop computer or laptop or something, or at least, a tablet that is a reasonable size, even if you do Chromecast on your TV, that sort of thing. It just works better. You can sign up on my website. I put the link down here in the bottom. And yeah, as mentioned, it's $15 a month. So less than a cup of coffee a week by New Zealand prices. You can learn literally anywhere in the world if you wanted to, but given that most of the videos that I've produced so far are based on New Zealand flax, Phormium tenax harakeke. If you may have to look for similar materials. You can use similar materials. You don't have to use New Zealand flax. You can, for some of these items, you can use bark. You can use bulrush. Any sort of leafy lily leaves, you might have to adjust the size, that sort of thing. Paper, cardboard, plastic. I've seen quite a few different sort of materials being used over the years. On that note, I also have a couple of videos on there about how to read patterns. So if that is what you're after, head over there. So, like how to work out a pattern, how to, before you weave it. That is all based, of course, on our New Zealand patterns, but some of them are universal. I mean, I've seen the same type of pattern all over the world in different countries, different materials, different traditions, and so it may or may not be helpful to you. I don't know. We also have a sort of semi-regular Zoom meeting about a specific topic. The last sort of two Zoom meetings were about how to start a business. Sort of my experience. I'm not a business advisor, and so that's a disclaimer big time. So don't take it as gospel, but I just try to be helpful, so people don't fall into the same trap. How to price your work, what to look out for. Do you need to be GST registered, tax registered, or not? That sort of thing. So that's all in there. Any part of you who's a member, a paying member of the Weavers Circle, also gets a 10% discount in our shop. And I am selling dyes for 3 different brands of dyes for New Zealand-based weavers. Yes, you can buy those dyes as well in some shops, Spotlight, for example, but they're quite a bit more expensive over there unless they have a special running. So that might be something for you. I also have a limited amount of woven pieces for sale. Some of these kite and a couple of piu-piu. And if you happen to be a Weaving Circle member, you get 10% discount. Now, how good is that? So that's really it at the moment. I don't think I will produce a video especially for YouTube anytime soon again. I may, but because I've been so busy producing the videos for the membership site, and also they're becoming more and more complex. Some of them, you know, take up to a week to, you know, like once, you know, you need to film them, you know, process them, cut them, that sort of thing, you know, for uploading. Then you need to upload them, then you need to, you know, work the whole thing. So it actually takes a lot of time and effort, and at the end of the day, I'm still a full-time weaver. So this, you know, producing the videos is really just trying to be helpful, and you know, if I get a request, and sometimes I actually help with that request, sometimes I just feel that it's not quite needed. There are certain things I will never make a video about, like how to make handles or how to put them on, because that's sort of the thing that everybody should just sort of have a bit of a play with. That's the whole point about being creative. I don't expect people to be exclusively watching my videos. I don't expect loyalty above everything else. You know, if you just want to be a month, then just, you know, no hard feelings. Just, you know, either learn from a book or from an actual person, or go to a wānanga. You know, I don't really... yeah, I mean, I've learned from... I've had 3 proper kayako, but I've learned way more since my official learning was finished and I graduated, and then I've played around a lot with things, or I've got tips from other people. I went to a lot of wānanga around the country, and I also let my own heritage influence me in my weaving, and also friends overseas who weave with different materials but may have similar techniques and inspirations. So that's it's a work in progress, and I'm hoping that everybody else will benefit from this work in progress and maybe take the odd thing that I can teach and show, and then use something else, someone else from there, and someone else from there, and, you know, maybe go to a couple of wānanga, and then maybe the national wānanga, you know, weavers meetings, and maybe that makes you the, you know, like your own best person, and it might give you the indication of how to be a true artist in your own right. You learn the techniques, and then you take your techniques and develop your own art, rather than copying someone else or getting shown every single tiny detail that you possibly, if you think about it, could work out by yourself, by being creative. That's the whole thing. So anyway, this was way too long already. But I just wanted to show you what I've been up to, because some have been sending me messages and going, well, you haven't uploaded a video yet, or for a long time, and that's correct. I have, just not on YouTube. So they're somewhere else. They're on my website. It's called the Weavers Circle. It's a membership only page, and there is over 50 odd video tutorials there now, and each and every one can be watched as long as you're a member. There is no time limit on it. You know, you can't just download it. That's the problem. But other than that, you know, if you feel like it, sign up to it. If you don't, then don't. You know. Anyway, happy weaving, everybody.